We're here. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Goblins Pocket, a D&D show where we review D&D content and tell you whether you should spend your hard-earned time or money on it. I'm Ian.
I'm Monica.
And that's Woo. Monica. Yeah, great. And yeah, we're actually recording back to back with our last episode. Just get them in. I'm not quite sure when this one will go out, as we've got some other things that we're waiting. We're waiting for that Journeys Through the Radiant Citadel to drop. So that'll get slotted in the middle, I think. But yeah, in the meantime,
we've got a show and tell.
I have my first real D&D session with my new group recently.
How was that?
Really
Tell
good.
me.
Yeah, I spent my hard-earned money on a table and some chairs, like fold-out table and some folding chairs, so that I can set up like for sessions, which has kind of leveled up our game a bit. We've gone from the
Does that mean we need to review D&D chairs and tables as part of our...
I mean, we could do. I mean, I got a table for £8 and two chairs for £5.
Yeah. I need you to like furnish my house. You're like a bargain finder.
My wife hates them all because they are ugly and they take up lots of space, and no, they fold up and they're kind of stored in our storage cupboard at the moment. But yeah, really good session, really good fun using the minis that we reviewed previously, and my TV
not the dragon
table.
I hope for session session 1.
No dragons. There was a storm giant in session 1, and they're level 1 characters, so they scampered away from that. Yeah, I think that was a CR13 enemy. So,
did you convey to them, no, you don't want to fight this guy? This is not an invitation to fight.
I think, yeah, I don't. Oh, well, I was quite lucky. The guy that bumped into him by accident has been playing D&D for, I think, like 13 years, maybe 18 years.
So you saw a storm giant and was like,
yeah,
nah.
He was like, nope. So he did a quick U-turn. Yeah. How are you? How's things?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good. Because we're recording back to back, you guys will know that last episode was the no good, very bad episode where my dog decided to just participate in a show. She was a guest. She was our first guest. That's real, to be honest. She was our first guest. I've decided to like give her a chew toy. Therefore, she is going to be occupied for the next 25 seconds and then probably start barking again. But
great.
Yeah. We'll see how it goes, but everything is good. Thank you very much for asking.
Good. And this week we have got a show and tell episode, haven't we? So we're going to be rolling to see who goes first. Oh yeah, sweet beats. Ready for this?
Oh, got that one.
I got 17, so
what?
Sucks for you. I think that might put me in the lead, or at least tied for the lead.
Tied, maybe.
Yeah.
What do you have for us?
So in what is becoming classic Ian form, I have another podcast for us. And this isn't to say that I don't spend my time and money on other D&D content, but for the most part, podcasts are something that I digest at a decent rate. So if you follow our Instagram, you may know that I sometimes do listen alongs, which you should join me for, where I'll basically post up a link to something I've just found, and I quite often will be on, because hey, I've got news for you guys. If you didn't know, there are a shitload of actual play D&D podcasts out there. So many, and they're not all good. So I will quite often put one up. You can listen with me. I'd love to hear your opinions as we go. And I always try and give a podcast at least 7 hours. That's my kind of standard. I try and give it more if I can. Anyway, the one I'll be reviewing today is Children of Erte. It's like Earth, but spelt stupid.
Great start, Ian.
Yeah, I know, right? And I can't remember how I heard about this. I think it might have even been advertised on another podcast that I listened to. So this is so it is Children of Erte. It's quite new. I can't actually tell you when it started, unfortunately. But I can tell you it's only 14 episodes currently, and I think they're released weekly, if not bi-weekly. So it's not been going very long. These are 2-hour episodes, roughly, pretty classic format. And it's actually a Twitch stream that comes out every Tuesday, and then they convert it to podcast. So I've not actually watched the Twitch stream, so I won't be commenting on that. But from what I understand, it is your kind of classic D&D Twitch, where you've got your DM on one side and all of your players on the other side. I don't think they use maps or anything. I think it's just player reactions and faces that you're seeing, basically. And it is, firstly, it is a demiplane podcast show. And do you know what demiplane is?
No, I've heard about it in the D&D scene before.
Yeah.
But
hey, I looked into it, and even I don't know what demiplane is.
What?
Because their website refuses to tell you.
Oh, great.
It's one of these things where they really want you to sign up to a subscription, and you don't really know what you're signing up to until you signed up to it. But from what I can work out, it is a way of finding groups and games. That's one thing you can do in it. So that's kind of a premium service that they've got. But it's also digital tools to help you play. So I'm not 100%. I probably should have gone onto YouTube and seen if somebody had done a review of it or something. But from what I can work out, it might be like a bit of a Roll20 sort of thing.
Because I was going to say, it sounds like something that's similar to Roll20, because Roll20 does both of those things.
If you know, I guess you know. If you don't, you won't be able to find out. But yeah, if anybody does know, please comment.
Please let us know. We're curious.
I don't know. Anyway, so that's what that's a money maker they're doing, and this is a podcast produced by Demiplane. And I think what initially caught my eye or my ear with this was that the DM is Deborah Ann Wall. Do you know her? She's an actor.
Deborah Ann Wall. Can I Google her?
She's she's in Daredevil. Did you ever watch that?
Oh,
she's the red-haired lady in Daredevil.
Deborah Ann Wall, red-haired lady.
Yeah,
in Daredevil.
She
was what? I'm sorry, all of you out there. Please forgive Ian. She is Jessica from True Blood.
Oh, come on. Sure. I don't watch True Blood, but yeah, she's Jessica from True Blood. She's famous, and she's been playing D&D for a long time.
Really?
She's been DMing for a long time. There's an interview in like maybe the 3rd episode or something with her, and she goes into a bit more detail. And I wrote the notes somewhere and I've lost them. But it's like decade plus.
Okay.
So she's been DMing a long time. And I was like, oh, okay. I really like people who know what they're doing. I especially like trying to find more female-led games. And this is 4 female players, female DM, 1 male player. So it's like, it's a different vibe, definitely, in that respect to some of the other things I listen to. So I was very excited for it. And listening to it, I'll get into it. Let's get into it. Children of Verte, the premise in a nutshell is 4. I think it's 4 players.
Bodes well.
It's 4 players. It could be 5. There's the old lady, the one, that one, and that one. Yeah, I think it's 4. And they're all humans in the real world. They receive a ticket onto a train. They go on the train, and this train is driving from point A to point B, and they're getting into shenanigans along the way. And this train is magic, and it's going to be crossing over realms and that sort of thing. And you're going to get some Fae crossover. Anyway, you got magic, you got real people.
Orient Express meets D&D. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Real people breaking into a D&D world.
Okay.
That's the premise. Here comes my review of this. I've talked to Monica about this a little bit, but I'm going to try and be objective to begin with. It is slow to start with. I think they spend a good 5, if not 6 hours on absolutely obsessed with a door that they can't get into. And now this, if you're
It's
a D&D,
it's the bane of D&D.
it's
doors.
a D&D trope to show, if you show your players a locked door that is difficult to open, they will invariably try and open it.
Yeah. They
and
will
this
break
is,
everything they have to open it.
Oh my God, this is a perfect example of that. And now Deborah, she's very freeform. She wants her players to explore. She doesn't want to say no. She wants to make checks like difficult where there should be difficult, and etc. And wow, these guys would not let up on this door. And that is the initial hurdle you have to get over.
Okay.
5 hours of that.
5 hours on a single door? Like what?
Yeah, I think it's 3.5 episodes. Oh no, yeah. So it's 3. They kind of discover it quite early on, and then it's just like, yeah, a good 2.5 episodes of just persistently trying to get into this door.
Oh my God.
And
I'm surprised as a DM she didn't just say like, guys, move on.
Well, I listened to the interview with her which is like between episodes 2 and 3, I think, something like that. And she just basically talks about her DMing style. She's, considering it's a railroad like inspired story, she doesn't do railroading. So she wants people to
ironic.
Do her thing. And I've always said this, DMs who don't railroad, bravo, thumbs up. If you're playing home games, I applaud you. DMs who don't railroad in produced media, come on, like we're here for a story. And
guys, that's what produced means in produced media.
I mean, there's this idea of the macro game and the micro game. The kind of macro, the big story, keeping shit moving in the direction you need to, hopefully they're all doing that. And the micro is where your players can go woo and try some different things. But yeah, she's very liberal and lets them do their thing. So she let them try for this door for a long time. And I won't spoil the door. So
I'm very tempted to ask you, do they actually open
I'm not going to spoil, because if you're listening to this and you get into it, you'll it'll ruin it'll ruin 3 or 4 episodes if I say anything. So the other thing that was a hurdle, and I said I give it 7 hours, so I got past it, and I did watch a few, listen to a few episodes after. The other thing is, they all are humans in the real world, but they have D&D classes. There's a cleric, there's a rogue, that sort of thing. However, they never explicitly say what these are. So if anybody who is listening to this wants to know what classes they are, you're not going to find out easily. You have to kind of guess, and that can be people who like to know that sort of shit. That could be quite frustrating. The other frustrating part about it is they absolutely refuse to call the spells what they are, because they're not using spells, because they're just humans. So they describe these alternative ways of doing things in these weirdly elaborate kind of ways, which can be quite annoying.
Could you give an example without it being too much of a spoiler? Because I'm very confused.
I'm trying to say it. I mean, it's like saying, rather than saying I cast shocking grasp on somebody, it's I reached across to somebody, I grabbed their arm, and for some reason
I give them an electric shock.
Like, and that's it. It's very for some reason, and it's like, it's hard to explain, but my voice sends somebody across the room, and that sort of stuff. So they're using the 5e rule set, and they are stretching it to its limits, in my opinion.
Especially as they go higher in level, I can assume things would become more complicated, because
well, this is
cantrips and first level spells, maybe you can fidget with. But...
Well, this is it. I think I got to about episode 8 before I dipped on this one, and a big part of that was just due to, again, Deborah will be a fucking fun DM to play with in real life. As far as a piece of media to listen to, this was slow and it was a bit strenuous. I couldn't give it my all. Great role playing, great from everyone. The players are really good. I think one of them is an actress, one's a famous cosplay artist and costume artist, one's a I think she's like a clarinet player, oboe player, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, she's one of the best players, and she's not got like a acting background. And the final player, the male in the group is, and I've written this down because I don't know him, but maybe people know him, is Adam Bradford, who is the co-founder of D&D Beyond.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So he's,
That's
you've got her DMing and him as a player. So you're thinking, shit, this has
high
got some pride.
expectations.
Yeah, exactly. And potentially the most annoying player I've
Oh no, disappointment. Oh.
He good role playing, all that sort of thing, knows the rules really well, obviously played a lot of D&D. He is the main reason that those door episodes exist, was his persistence. And I'm just thinking, from an experienced D&D player to latch onto something so hard that is quite clearly the DM isn't ready for. I mean, I might be completely wrong. She might have spoken to them behind the scenes being like, look guys, you can do it with this door, just keep persisting. But it seems like the door wants to stay shut and they don't want to leave it shut. Anyway, I think in a nutshell, this isn't for me. Are there, like, if you're listening to this, we're on, like, this is 14, 15 episode, whatever, something like that. I like my comedy podcasts. Not all crass, pointless comedy. Some are just really nice. But I like comedy. There are some laughs in this, but for the most part, it's definitely playing into that more of a fairy tale vibe. It's very, it's pretty chill. And it's very, but also, it's very diverse. It's very welcome. It's got a lot of positive, like, they're doing shit right.
It feels like a good home game.
It's
like
not,
it feels like
this is it.
Like a really good home game. But
and I can't think of what episodes we covered this before, but I've definitely listened to podcasts in the past where I'm like, I could see this being a fun home game. It just doesn't translate well. And that's a real shame. There's some cool things they do. One of the things, like, Deborah's really, the DM is really into puzzles, and she says, I create puzzles with the intention of them not necessarily having to solve them immediately. So I will give somebody a puzzle, give them the parts of the puzzle, and let them work it out at their own time. It might not. And one of the things they do as a production is they then share these with the listeners. So you can go onto a website, you can take part and guess along with the characters with the puzzle.
That's quite cool.
So
that's
they upload images of shit like, this, there's half spelt words and that sort of thing. And they upload images of maps and that sort of thing. So you can there's a bit of interactivity in that respect, which is cool. It's something different. I'm loath to give this a bad review because I'm sure there's somebody out there that would love this. But if you like fairy tales and slow games, this is for you. I mean, it's not high octane. I think I listened to 8 episodes and there was maybe one bit of combat in all of that, which, if that's your thing, you like listening to combat, then
this
cool.
Is not it.
Like, this is not that, probably not for you. Don't. It's okay.
I feel like this is a high potential kind of. You're describing a bit of a high potential. Like, I think the DM is actually a really good DM, and the players are actually good.
Good example.
Good chemistry.
Again, it's this example of what it takes to be a good DM, rather than a Matt Mercer or a Brennan Lee Mulligan who is, got a production team behind them.
Exactly. Like, they're showmen with a production team behind them.
But as far as something to listen to or watch, for me, this is not. I won't be investing any more time in it. We'll still put links to it in the description.
Yeah, sure. Because please feel free to check it out and actually, give us your own opinion, even if it differs from ours. Like, by all means, we want to hear points of view.
If I had to rate it, it would be 11, maybe.
Okay, still higher than a 10.
Yeah, I mean, it's passable. I mean, they're doing things right. There's lots of positive to it. It's just not my flavor. So that's Children of Erte, EARTE.
But spelled stupid.
Yeah, it took a while to find it because of that.
EARTE.
We'll put some descriptions for you in the notes, so you can go check those out.
Well, let's go on a little break, and then we'll change topic.
Yeah. Hopefully something that rates a bit higher than that.
I hope
but
so.
hey,
I'm the good teacher here. I'm the bad good cop.
I'm
you're the bad cop.
here. I'm here to help save you time. If that's been on
Exactly,
your
that's
list,
how it
if
goes.
that's been on your list and you've listened to this review and you're like, oh,
Maybe
that doesn't
not.
actually sound like it's for me, get it off. So yeah, don't waste time on it. Right, back after the break.
See you later, guys.
Bye. Hey, got an idea for something we should review? Or been thinking of buying something for your D&D collection but the price has put you off? Why not join our Patreon? For just £4 a month, you'll get a say on what content we review, and when we buy something using Patreon contributions, we'll raffle it off to our patrons. So, you'll be in with a chance of winning the thing you wanted us to review anyway. Good, right? So, go find us on Patreon at The Goblins Pocket. And of course, all new supporters get a shout out on the latest episode. Because we love you. We time traveled.
We time traveled, guys. That's how cool we are.
We were recording the first half of the show like late at night, and now we're recording at like 8:30 in the morning. So my eyes have gone from this size to this size.
Well, but Ian, that's because we're so committed. We've just stayed awake for the whole night.
I'm a rat creature. So yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of context here. I am going to be talking about a really cool YouTube channel that I love, and I think you guys should all check out. However, I hadn't checked their channel out for a little while now, and I didn't know that they had recently transitioned. So I unfortunately misgendered the person in question. I didn't dead name because he decided to remain with the same name and username. So that was good. But for us, representation is really important. Inclusion is really important. Dead naming is never cool. Therefore, we just thought, let's re-record. I have so much to say about him anyway. So, I'm happy to just chat about him
the
for a little while.
We recorded the whole section on him and what he's about, and it was really good. Like, we did a good recording, very positive.
It was great, guys.
But I hadn't checked out any of the work, so I've now been and I've checked out some of the work. So
that's good. So now you can contribute.
Now it'll be a slightly different recording, but yeah, go ahead and tell us about what you're talking about today.
Well, so I want to talk about Jess Jackdaw. He goes by Jesse or Jess, and he is an artist, which is a bit different for us because we never really talk about pure artists. No. You know, we talk about other kind of people involved in the D&D world, but he is first and foremost an artist who creates beautiful, beautiful things. And the way
D&D adjacent things.
D&D adjacent things. He has been involved on YouTube. You will find some one-shots that he ran or he was involved in with other people on YouTube who do D&D related stuff, like Joe Cat, for example. But I am not here to talk about the one-shots. I am here to talk about mashups. Whoop, 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 whoop. The reason why I found his channel is because I have a really good friend of mine, Mary, who I talk about on here constantly, who is also an artist, and she introduced me to him because his video were basically a time lapse, I would call it, of his creations, and his creations are done by randomly choosing through a D100 a classic D&D monster and a Pokemon. And the kind of resulting monster is generally really dark, I will say. Like his like vibe is dark and creepy and just like, why did you have to do that? Beautiful, because just the end result is just stunning visually. But you also have the stats and all the information that you would need. He makes that readily available, so you can include it in your campaign. So as I was playing with Mary as my DM, she decided to include one of the aforementioned monsters in our campaign, and I had a fangirl moment. I was like, I know that's just Jackdraw's monster. And I just find it really inspiring as a channel. Did you have some time to check it out?
Yeah, so we obviously recorded that episode, and then we went away and I checked him out, and I'm a Pokemon fan. I'm a big Pokemon fan. I'm a big D&D fan as well. So I
So
wasn't really sure.
this channel is great for you,
This is
probably.
it, but based on your description, I wasn't really sure what to expect. I was expecting like a real like 50-50 mashup between
Mm.
a like D&D monster and Pokemon. And what I got was not quite what I expected to be. It's what they create is very unique. It kind of takes the vibe of both.
Mm-hmm.
Like one of the ones I watched, he crossed just the D&D vampire with a Staravia, which is like a bird Pokemon.
Yeah.
You know, it's got very distinctive markings, that sort of thing, but fundamentally it's just a bird. And the thing that came out of it was this like super grim dark, gigantic, like owl god. So really it wasn't like really that much of either of them. It was just this dark kind of floating thing. And I imagine if I'd have looked at the stats for it, there were some things like I know that in D&D vampires can turn into like a flock of bats basically, and they
Yeah.
can fly. This thing looked like it turned into like a flock of birds, and so there were similar abilities and things like that. So I think you can almost like the outcome is completely unique and standalone. You wouldn't slot it into like one of your D&D games and be like somebody be like, oh, that's a Mewtwo
No,
Poliwag.
no.
Like people are like nobody's going to pick up on it at all because the output, the artwork is very like it's like more D&D adjacent. It's like that
Mm-hmm.
like kind of
Yeah.
fantasy realism sort of style and beautiful. I'm like watching the creative process and everything like that. And yeah, like you said we don't usually talk about things like this, but this is definitely a D&D resource.
It
Like
is.
this is easy listening because that's the other thing as well. You haven't talked about the stories.
Oh yes,
Yeah, go ahead.
yes. So the video is structured in a way that once he understands what the mashup needs to be, he then creates a story and lore for the creature that he's drawing. So you, as you're listening and as you're seeing the creative process, which I, as someone who is like a complete layperson in terms of design, am completely enthralled by, because you can see the section that he deletes and the kind of the adjustments that he makes. And in doing that, he also gives you context for this creature. It gives you context on how this creature is created and what this creature wants and the setting that it would be in. And it's a beautiful listening experience. Like it becomes kind of like a little audio podcast kind of situation.
You were
but
saying how you're a massive fan of their voice as well, like a proper like ASMR voice. Like
yes, like a perfect voice for a ASMR podcast.
I'm one of those people that I can't just reel off lore. It isn't like it doesn't come off the tongue like it does for some people who have got really nice vocabularies and that sort of thing. But yeah,
it's beautiful.
Like he's got it. Like
he's got it. Like he can get you enthralled in like the lore and the story. And as I said, all super dark. Like one of the first videos that he made was about his changeling character and the campaign that it was that he was in. And you know, it was a really dark backstory and a really dark campaign. So I think there's like a penchant for like a little bit of a dark and gloomy type of setting.
Yeah.
But the whole experience, the type of content that you're going to get is going to be really easy to listen to, really enjoyable in terms of just looking at the product being made. And you end up with a very usable final monster. And you know,
I think if you were to watch a bunch of these, it would show you how easy it is to homebrew your own monsters.
Absolutely.
Like if you've ever worried about that sort of thing, like don't, like go create, go be creative. Look at this person, get some examples, like, and the stat blocks and all that sort of thing. It just shows you can just create your own stat blocks. I mean, I've not actually used any, so I can't like vouch for that, how balanced they are and that sort of thing. But I get the impression that, you know, where they are as a channel and that sort of thing these days, like they must be.
Yeah, it is. At least as someone who fought one, it seemed pretty nicely balanced. I would say that the inspiration for me is not just about like it's. We all take inspiration from our lives, right? Like we all, like I am a Harry Potter fan, not a J.K. Rowling fan at the moment, but I am a huge Harry Potter fan. And, you know, a lot of the things that I wanted to do in my campaign had to do with Harry Potter, not because necessarily it was the only thing that I thought would be feasible, but because I know Harry Potter lore so well.
Yeah.
it's doable. Like it's doable to find something that you really love and then kind of adapt it into a D&D campaign. And he really shows that that's like the sky's the limit. You can choose to merge and meld and create however you want. And that's really what D&D is about. It's about just boundless creativity and, you know, making the world your own. So he's an inspiration.
Go watch it. Like,
Absolutely.
honestly, just go watch. We'll put some links in the description. Monica, how would you rate this?
I don't remember what the rating that I gave him last time. I feel really bad. I'm gonna give him a 15 just because I need more videos. Like he's created an addict, and now he's not producing as many videos as he used to, and I feel betrayed. That's all.
I think that he's got there's a book I think that you can get,
which
is a stack of loads of the artwork and the stat blocks. You can
he participated in the creation of a book. I'm sorry, all of this was in the pre-recorded, and I was like, I'm gonna wing it, Ian. I don't need to know what we said last time. Yes, he participated in a book, which is, I can tell you immediately, Heliana's Guide to Monsters, I think, which includes a lot of his artwork, his monsters, his kind of, you know, just his creative output, really. So I'm definitely gonna get my hands on that. But I just need more ASMR. Leslie.
Nice.
Just need more ASMR.
Great. Well, it's cool. It's cool to find something new. I hope you guys enjoy it, and
yes, let us know what you think.
Steers you in a slightly different direction. Again, it's something that you can watch in 10 minutes rather than a 4-hour Critical Role episode. So
why is that the example you keep making? I feel like you've got it out for Critical Role. Come on.
I'm just showing people that you've got angles. So you know, if you're sat watching some breakfast, you need something to watch, chuck on a Just Drag Draws. You know, like, get it done and then go get in the shower and have a good day. We're
it's Ian's hope for your day.
Hey, you wake up, you eat your breakfast, you watch Jess, and then
Just Jack a Draw.
You maybe shower,
maybe,
and then you do something else. Then you watch your 4 hours of Critical.
then it's
you start the real work. Tell us about things. Email us and things.
He's given up.
Do it.
Ian's given up.
Monica, do the thing.
So let us know what you think about Just Jack Draw, but also let us know anything else that you would like us to review. We're here to help you guys pick stuff and, you know how to spend your money and or time. So we're here for you. You can reach us at Gmail at thegoblinspockets@gmail.com, on Instagram at thegoblinspockets, and we have a Patreon, so you know, become a friend.
We're going to do some stuff on that. We've got some stuff planned for that.
We have.
So we're going to spice it up. But we'll see you guys soon.
We'll see you very soon.
Bye.
Bye, guys.